Hello, thanks for joining me. A quick look at the week ahead in astrology. How is your astro life going, peeps? Let me know in the comments, actually. It's always good to know how these things are going. We'll have a rundown of where we are today and where we're going over the next week or so. I will actually be back next Friday with a look at next weekend, so that's about as far as we're going to go. The moon is in Pisces, only just actually, and stays in Pisces right through until Tuesday the 25th. It's kind of quite emotional, but Pisces people are often very positive actually, and receptive to other people's feelings, and that's Pisces people, that's the Pisces influence really, so it's likely to stay that way, it's likely to be going in that direction. It's imaginative, there's inspiration about as well. Reason, cool logic, that kind of thing tends to take a back seat, but we need a bit of that. That makes for a good life really, as far as I can see. Mercury is of course still retrograde, and we'll talk about Mercury as we go. That is causing problems around communication. It's causing problems with people making journeys of all kinds actually, travel, transport, those kinds of journeys, and journeys of the mind. It can get in the way of that too, but more on that in a minute. The moon is 0.1% full now. She is only just coming back to life, and even though the new moon is a great kind of time of newness, it's not the best time to be launching anything until maybe Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, when she's a good kind of 5-6% full, and we can see her in the sky. That's the important thing. When you can see the moon in the sky, that's when the lunar influence is really coming into being again. It's all about what we can see from Earth in terms of astrology. For example, nearly all the planets go retrograde actually, and at the moment Juno is retrograde and Mercury is retrograde, and that just means they're moving backwards through the sky as we view them from Earth. There's nothing actually changed with those planets, but it's how we see them from Earth that actually has the effect. So there we go, a new moon is here. As we go into this week, let's have a rundown of today. The sun is sextile Mars, assertiveness, starting things for a first view of things, and breaking new ground on new projects is favoured. That's been favoured for quite a while actually. The moon right now, that Pisces moon, is sextile Uranus, so it's kind of a thrilling kind of a day. People are more easily excited. Great time for something new, great time for experimentation. Now those are the two planets closest to us really, the sun and the moon. So is the moon a planet? That's quite a debate in itself. Let me know what you think in the comments, please do. But those are the two closest influences in astrology, and they're all about kind of newness, they're all about breaking new ground. Looks really positive. Now Mercury, retrograde as it is sextile Mars. Quick reactions, moving fast with things, decisions happening really quickly should be the order of things. Maybe not because of Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde does not screw absolutely everything up. It's not the negative influence that a lot of us think it is. There is a little negativity around it, I won't lie to you. That's a fact of life with Mercury when it goes retrograde. I say it rather than he or she because Mercury has no gender attached to it. It's kind of a gender fluid planet. So it is actually moving backwards as we view it from Earth at the moment. So who knows? But generally speaking, it's looking quite good for things to happen fast. If things are happening a bit slow, there'll be a solution to that somewhere in the picture, okay? Venus square Jupiter as we go into next week. That gets things a bit overinflated, a bit overblown. Quite important to keep it real. But at the same time, there's generosity about. People tend to get on reasonably well under that alignment. Okay, those are the closest astrological heavenly bodies, as it were. Let's see what the moon is doing next week. So I was saying she's in Pisces until Tuesday the 25th, and 10:47 a.m. Eastern, she is going to enter Aries, and then the cycle is going to start. So it's a real positive beginning to the week with a new cycle starting. That is looking so good. 10:47 a.m. Eastern, 1:47 p.m. on the 10:47 a.m. Pacific. I'm always getting that one wrong, sorry. 10:47 a.m. Pacific, 1:47 in the afternoon on the east side of the States and Canada. Here in UK, about 5:45, 17:47. Okay, and so that's on its way in. Also that day, Oh dear, I've lost my page now. Let's just try and get that back again. Also also Monday the 24th, Mars is going to quintile Neptune, but that's not until 9:02 p.m. Eastern, so it's quite late in the day. 9:06 p.m. again Eastern, Sun sextile Mars, so Mars is really quite active actually on Monday the 24th. That's tomorrow, that's kind of just ahead of us. Two Mars things going on. Any problems coming up, have a constructive project, have something to channel things into. It is late at night though, so hopefully the day will have kind of brought itself down to almost to a close by that time, and it won't be an issue. Okay, so Aries moon coming in on Tuesday. On Wednesday the 26th, that is to say Ash Wednesday. Let's see, we still have that Aries moon. It stays with us until Thursday at the very soonest, I should say. So on the 26th, yeah, now Mercury gets really active on the 26th. She's going to be sextiling Mars. Now Mercury's in Pisces at the moment, sextiling Mars, retrograde Mercury, so it's quite a mix. It's quite difficult to call. But the Mercury influence of actually being in Pisces at this moment, I'm not going to say it's going to bring more negativity than usual, because that's just not the case. But the Pisces influence is very positive, and the Mars influence can be negative. Again, it isn't always, and a sextile is quite a nice alignment. So we've got Mercury sextiling Mars, and that's 12:58 a.m. That's less than an hour actually into Wednesday the 26th. But also then 6:23 a.m. Eastern, that is. So 5 hours before that. 3 hours before that Pacific, 5 hours after that here in UK, it's going to be in the morning. Mercury, still in Pisces, is going to semi-square Venus, and that's a different kettle of fish, okay? Matters of love, matters of money could quite well get affected by Mercury being retrograde. So look out, I wouldn't make any big decisions around love and money on Wednesday the 26th. But that is only Wednesday the 26th, when Mercury, also still in Pisces, because it's the same day, is going to trine the true node or the north node. Now the north node, the true node, is all about where you're going. It's about forward looking. So if your plans start looking a bit kind of dodgy to you, and you're starting to think, oh, maybe this won't work, maybe that won't work on Thursday the 27th, do not worry about it, friends. That Mercury retrograde influence is at its most powerful in a negative sense when we allow ourselves to worry about things. There is always a solution. That is always how it works. Okay, so then also Thursday the 27th, the moon enters Taurus, 23:30 Pacific, so very late in the day. Eastern, it's going to be Friday the 28th at 2:30 a.m. and so that's going to be 7:30 a.m. here in UK when we get the Taurus moon. And then, my friends, we will be headed into next weekend. I will be back several times before then. I like to try and post something every day if I can, because I like to try and give you something to chew on in terms of astrology, and just do my job as an astrologer, which is basically to help people, basically to help you. That's what it's all about. So Friday the 28th, Sun in Pisces, which it is, of course, because if you're a Pisces, you're coming close to your birthday, or you might already have had it. I must do a card reading, actually, for Pisces at that time. And thanks everyone who watched the Pisces Tarot the other night as well. More tarot readings coming up as we go. So Sun in Pisces, semi-square Pluto on Friday the 28th. Also Mercury active again, semi-square Jupiter. And Jupiter has a lot to do with kind of giving, a lot to do with happiness. It is, of course, the ruling planet of Sagittarius as well. So, Mercury being in Pisces might not be a problem, but being retrograde, we could start to doubt ourselves. And that is the trick. That's the thing we want to avoid doing. Also, February the 28th is a busy day, actually, because Venus is going to quintile the North Node. So love, money, that kind of thing, getting involved with the journey ahead. Starting to look more positive then, though, because Mercury has moved on from the picture, because Mercury then is going to semi-sextile Chiron, bringing that retrograde influence into basically the planet of the wounded healer. That's what Chiron is all about in astrology. Okay, so you might want to work with the stone Peridot on Friday the 28th if that becomes an issue for you as well. Real busy day. Venus in Aries is going to square Pluto in Capricorn, so Pluto is really pretty grounded. We needn't expect too much of the unexpected in that sense. And again, Mercury's going to sextile Uranus on the 28th of Feb, Friday. So that is a lot going on next Friday, actually. That's going to be a real busy day, and I think that's going to need its own video. But most days get their own video, the way I'm doing these things at the moment. Now then, let me just kind of recap things, generally speaking. Basically, the moon is in Pisces now, and it's going to be in Taurus by the time we start next weekend. So that is, generally speaking, the transit. We should be aware of Mercury Retrograde more than anything else, I guess. But when I say be aware of it, I don't mean worry about it, okay? It's just if you're aware of these things, you can kind of respond or not respond. You know, you're basically better informed that way, and that's the way we want it to be, really. Okay. Okay guys, so thanks for watching. Have a fantastic Sunday the 23rd. It is actually new moon. It's very, very strong influence at the moment, and it's all about news. Just not time to launch things until we get to maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and look out for all the other stuff. But I'll be along, I'd like to say every day in the next week, but it sort of depends on my internet connection. I very nearly went live last night, but my computer was weird, and the chat window was like half off the screen, so I could see people's first name, but I couldn't see what they were typing or anything, so that didn't work out. But more live videos from me coming up, and I'll try and make them actually last this time. Thank you very much for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. Do leave me a comment. We will share the journey. I'm here to help. That's the whole point. If you'd like to speak at length, you know, if you'd like a reading or something like that, do email me. It's 35and83@gmail.com. That's 35and83@gmail.com. I'll be really happy to hear from you, and I'll help you if I possibly can. Readings available, of course, and I'll see you again very soon. Give me a thumbs up if you think I've earned it, and have a fantastic Sunday. Have a fantastic week ahead. See you soon. Peace.